welcome to the Amplifying Scientific Innovation podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Sophia Onoye Oye, founder and CEO of the Sophia Consulting Firm, a life science marketing and communications consultancy that was established in New York City with the goal of amplifying scientific innovation. The goal of this podcast is to showcase scientific innovation stemming from global life science companies prior to and following COVID-19 from the perspectives of founders, CEOs, and other senior executives who are working on the development of transformative life-saving solutions for patients. My guest today is Dr. Bijan Almassian, co-founder, president, and CEO and board director of Carogen Corporation, a leader in the development of immunotherapy vaccines. Bijan is also the founder and chairman of Arian Neurosciences, an Alzheimer's drug development company. His diverse experience in the life science industry includes roles of increasing responsibility in biotechnology R&D operations, project management, and alliance management in startup and mid-sized life science companies. He holds an MS and PhD in medicinal chemistry from Northeastern University and Massachusetts College of Pharmacy, respectively, and was an NIH postdoctoral fellow at the Boston University Medical School. Bijan and I connected through the BioCT community based on our mutual backgrounds and interests in medicinal chemistry and, of course, the state of Connecticut. Moreover, I was intrigued by Carogen Corporation's plan to repurpose its video platform for COVID-19 prevention. Welcome to the show, Bijan.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet your guest.
Okay, I'm happy to have you here. So let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. I would love to know, what is your definition of scientific innovation?
Really continuous effort to make, in our business, we develop drugs, our continuous efforts to make our drugs safer, more potent, and also cost effective. In regard to our platform, as you indicated, this is a video, is a artificial virus that was developed at the Yale School of Medicine by one of the pioneers in the field of virology, Professor Jack Rose, who also is a co-founder of the company and also chairman of the scientific advisory board. Basically, what we're trying to do to apply and try to come up with the best way we can to enable the technologies. As you see that we have developed a portfolio of products, immunotherapies for hepatitis B virus infection, potentially for functional cure. We're also expanding in immuno-oncology. We're collaborating with the University of Connecticut, working on developing a product potentially for colorectal cancer. We're also doing additional work with the Wayne State University that we're working on ovarian cancer. As you see also, we're involved with the development of vaccine for COVID-19 with Professor Jack Rose at Yale.
That is wonderful. Thank you for sharing those insights. And thinking a little bit more philosophically, what is your most notable accomplishment before you became a CEO?
Really, in my case, it has been incremental. I started my career in when I was a graduate student as basically a part-time dishwasher in a chemical company. I don't think you can go lower than that. It's a career that has started at baseline. During the graduate school, I also continued in that company, and they promoted me. Actually, they felt that I could do a better job than a dishwasher. So a bit of responsibility. And when I finished my PhD, I worked in the field of biotechnology and biochemistry. That's where I got acquainted with the biotechnology. It's been really an incremental increase in the level of my responsibility and my drive to learn. My background is a little bit different than many other CEOs. I come from a manufacturing background and then expanded to the discovery, as well as took on responsibility of the clinical and regulatory. As you see, I've worked in 7 private and public companies over the last 30 years with increasing responsibility. So I feel that I have learned a number of different skills that any really CEO needs to have, especially in biotechnology. You need to understand the science very strongly and understand the different aspects of the drug development. And in order to be able to recruit the right people, right senior management, as well as board of directors and scientific advisory board. So my career has been really incremental increase in my level of responsibility and knowledge over years.
Yeah, extremely well said. I'm very proud of that, your journey, and it's good to see you where you are today. It's really exemplary. And so now I'm curious. I mean, we alluded to it earlier about their video platform. So can you give us like a top line overview of potential or ongoing work that may be related to immunotherapy and or anti-infectives?
Absolutely. As you well know, viruses have been around for decades. Different companies, different academic laboratories have used viruses and delivery system for as a vaccine for immunotherapies. Viruses are known that they're oncolytic. They're specifically destroy cancer cells. So what a video is basically a hybrid of two different viruses. It has the properties of viruses, but it also lacks the part of the viruses that makes them relatively unsafe. The parts that is good about this virus, its ability, or this artificial virus, which we call a video, which stands for artificial virus for infectious diseases and immuno-oncology. It's basically its ability to deliver multiple armaments, multiple warheads, and that's novel. The other thing is ability to be given as prime boost. So a lot of viruses, if you give it only once, that's the body develops neutralizing antibody. You can only give it once. You cannot give it as a boost. Right. So this is another ability of our platform. Over years, we have basically tested our capacity of this video. It can be used as prophylactic for vaccines like COVID-19. It also could be used as immunotherapy for cancer. You can load it to deliver proteins of interest like cytokines. For colorectal cancer, we're using IL-12 as an anti-tumor agent to be delivered by the same VLV. VLV or a video has tremendous potential in the field of immuno-oncology because also you can add additional DNA sequence for the shRNA knocking down PD-L1. As you know, PD-L1 is a wonderful target, and a number of products that have been approved for PD-L1 antibodies against the PD-L1 or PD-1. What we do is we basically build our artificial virus in such a way that we take the genetic codes to silence the genes of interest for the PD-L1 instead of neutralizing antibody. We silence the protection of the PD-L1 or PD-1. So that's another advantage of that. Basically, we use our VLV vector to work like a cocktails of different agents, working through multiple mechanisms of actions. And that's something that a lot of other virus-based vaccines or virus-based platforms have limitations.
Yeah, this is great. It seems to me that Carogen really is at the forefront of innovation, especially given all the talks that we currently know around personalized medicine being sort of the future of medicine. So thank you for that. I think that even non-scientists will be intrigued by all the great words that you use, PD-L1, and I'm sure they'll go to Google afterwards to find out what exactly does that mean. But I think you've done a good job of, describing a technology that is quite complex, but it's very impactful.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. So now that we've covered the technical stuff, I'm very curious to know about COVID-19. How has that changed the way you approach work internally?
Really, this is an opportunity. We looked at it because our co-founder, Professor Rose, developed a vaccine in 2008 for SARS. And also, Dr. Rose developed the VSV platform, which is a whole virus that has been used broadly in industry. And also, the VSV is a platform that has been used for developing an Ebola vaccine. So Dr. Rose has tremendous experience in this area, and the VLV is one of his invention. And VLV offers properties and characteristics and flexibility that other space, like his own VSV, doesn't. So we took the advantage of that. We thought this is a great opportunity for us to basically develop this vaccine, COVID-19, because it's urgently needed. And potentially this platform offers properties that the other have limitations, like even the ones that they already went to clinical trial. And in fact, the data just came in a few days back. While they were enthusiastic about moving forward, and they made a lot of news, and also they captured on the financial situation and increased their value of their company. But also, it looks like this virus is not easy to develop quick and fast vaccines. So what we offer as a platform, we potentially offer the abilities that overcome the shortage of or the deficiency of the other platforms. For example, messenger RNA used by Moderna is one of the front runners in the vaccines, and they have shown immunogenicities, but based on the data, it looks like immunogenicity is good, but it is not very high. So depending on really it's a as well, that the immunogenicity, it's definitely is a good news, but how long this immunogenicity is going to last?
Right.
Does the patients require second injection, third injection, and fourth immunization? And does this immune response last for 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? I think what we have, our platform induces both antibodies as well as T cells, which T cells definitely helps in terms of the immunization. The other thing that our platform is capable of, this virus expresses multiple antigens, the COVID-19. S, which stands for a spike, it's the major one. However, there are other proteins that could be player in terms of long-term immunogenicity of the vaccine. Our platform, Avidio, has the ability to deliver multiple antigens. So when you deliver multiple antigens, you induce multiple antibodies, and also you potentially induce multiple T cells. The broader immunogenicity is spectrum activity, potentially the better protection.
That is wonderful. I think that your responsiveness to this urgent public health crisis is something that is quite remarkable. And thank you for the education. I think a lot of our viewers will find that very helpful. Now, what about corporate social responsibility? How has that changed for your company as a result of the pandemic?
Well, it has made us to work harder because we see the need for such a vaccine. Frankly, our team is working almost non-stop. Our operation has not been stopped because we work on COVID-19, even though a majority of laboratories working on other discoveries have been shutting down over the last few months. Our team has been working constantly to make sure that we select a clinical candidate and take it to the filing the FDA and hopefully into the clinic within the next 6 to 7 months.
That's wonderful. So let's get philosophical for a little bit. So when you think broadly, what are some key consideration factors that you think will be integral for sustaining innovation in the life science industry?
I think the CEOs, as they are, is that you have to be innovative. Otherwise, you become even the most successful companies in the world. We know what happened to the GE. We know what happened to IBM.
Right.
The companies that they were the shining stars on the hill. Right now, they are not shining anymore, unfortunately, because they forgot to be innovative, forgot to see the future. I think the majority of the biotech CEOs are innovative. They think into the future. We certainly do that every day. The moment we take, we look at this, how we can improve on the Avidio. What sort of expertise we need, and how we can achieve that, how we can get that as being a very small biotech with limited resources. Right. One of the basically resources academic laboratories. If you have a sound technology, which we think we do, investigators and academic professors who are experts in your area, they will be willing to help you out, even sometimes without even asking for funding. And that's exactly what is happening with collaboration with colorectal cancer, with ovarian cancer, Wayne State University. We just started discussing potential working on liver cancer. Dr. Jack Wands at Brown University, who is an opinion leader in that field. And as you see, we're also looking at COVID-19 and developing the one. so it's our business model is really keep our core competency management team in place. That's what we have done. We have brought on board a highly experienced management team. If you look, I'm sure you must have looked at our website. All of us have worked in industry at least minimum 20 years. One of the greatest achievement of I think our achievement has been to build a team which is diverse. We're 10 people from 7 countries in the world. Very, very unique.
That's wonderful. So I'm a Nigerian American, and I always appreciate the immigrant story. I think that really showcases innovation across the board. So thank you for sharing that. Now, is there any technology or company that you're currently excited about? And it's okay if it's your own technology, it's fine.
No, there are a lot of exciting. In fact, in Connecticut, we're at the very good location thanks to UConn and Yale, Jackson Laboratories. There are a lot of talents, a lot of novel ideas. In cancer, as you will know, there are a lot of novel, but also very sort of a focused.
Right.
And unfortunately, cancer requires broader vision. Because it's one simple pathway developing a drug for a cancer. And that's why, unfortunately, most of the immunotherapies and drug for cancer either don't work or they work in a small percentage of the population. Look at even this antibodies that the Bristol Myers Squibb and Merck is selling, PD-L1 inhibitors with antibodies. They are very popular. They work only 20 to 30% of the patients, but we are dealing with 2 major variables. One is not the tumor, is the disease, the location, the stage, the rigidity, the environment, all of those different from one cancer to the another one. And there also is the therapy. If you give immunotherapy injected to the patient, does it get to the tumor? Does it get into basically where it needs to go? Is that pathway is sufficient to completely block? We're addressing all of those questions in one platform, Sophia, which is called Avideo. Avideo is oncolytic. So what it does, it basically lyses the tumor cells. When you lyse a tumor cell, you change the environment. You basically open up the pathway for T cells to get in. And above that, we're also including shRNA for PD-L1. PD-L1 basically it's a basically control on the immune system to not overshoot or undershoot. So what it does is basically inhibits the T cells from doing what it's supposed to do, which is killing cancer cells. So by knocking down that PD-L1, you basically open up the pathway for T cells to start killing whatever is left of the lysed cells in the cancer. So basically looking at the broadest spectrum of activity within the same system.
Yeah, that is really good stuff. I think that immuno-oncology, it's like this puzzle, and we continue to unravel it each day. So thank you for sharing that. Now, for some advice, I think that you probably have some. So how would your advice for a new biotech CEO coming into the market today be different versus, pre-COVID-19?
I think first you must have the passion for what you do. You go through definitely hardship. Sometimes you question yourself and your own sanity. Your family has started complaining that what the heck are you doing to us at this stage? Certainly my kids tell me, but you got to stick to your gun. You have to be open-minded in regard to surrounding yourself with extremely talented people, whether your own team, hire the best people, and basically the people who have the same passion. They may disagree in terms of strategy, which is always healthy. So it's basically be open-minded, expect that people reject you continuously, reject rejection, move forward, and reach out to people, and ultimately data speaks. Of course, data speaks whether you have to slow down or you change your strategy or you move faster. So you've got to be, number one, passionate, reach out to people. There are a lot of very good, talented people in the state of Connecticut. I certainly reach out to a lot of them. One of them is my chairman, Mr. Harry Penner, who is an entrepreneur. So I reach out to him almost on a daily basis. So I have a mentor, multiple mentors, discuss with the major issues, making sure that you have got and received sound input in order for you to make it the right decision. It takes time to raise capital. Raising capital is difficult, especially people of my sort of a type of individuals like us as immigrants. It has been. I think it's a major issue. I hope that investors look broadly to the talents, the technology, and the team, and the history of what the companies have done, and their CEO and their management team, and invest in the companies like us. And because ultimately we will be successful. We will not surrender. We have a technology, we have good alliance, we are generating good data, and we like to be supported by our local, especially ticket-based investors.
Very well said. And in closing, do you have any other commentary or thoughts about the industry, the company, the state of anything else you'd like to share with our audience today?
I think in my case, we are, and I am personally, I'm lucky to be in such a time, because science is evolving, is developing. There are a lot of wonderful publications, advancement of the science, and especially in the field of immunotherapy, oncolytic viruses, vaccines. I think vaccines are going to be a major players in the future. Vaccines were sort of abandoned by investors and industry because it was long, it was expensive. I think now with this COVID-19 disaster, the value of vaccine and vaccine development, vaccine platform will be well received in the business community as well as the investor community. So I'm so excited about the entire environment of the science, especially, and also being blessed to be collaborating with academic laboratories like Yale, UConn, Brown, and we're hoping to expand these relationships so we can look into the additional cancer targets.
Well, thank you for the masterclass on checkpoint inhibitors. I think today, for people that don't even know what PD-L1 is, they'll probably Google it and find that it's a programmed death ligand receptor 1 and the role that it plays, of course, in the immune system. But most importantly, one of the things I've enjoyed from speaking with you is that you showcase the brilliance of the technology that is coming from Connecticut. I'm a Yale entrepreneur in residence. I went to UConn. I worked at Pfizer. Like all the different things about that. That's what makes Connecticut truly special. So thank you for that. I think that is super good for the audience, and we're going to wrap up for the day. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. It was an honor. Bye bye.
Okay, now bye.